And Ohio City has proposed new laws that would increase the penalty for owners of barking dogs, including a potential 60 days in jail. Right now, it's a minor misdemeanor in Akron, which is a $100 fine, but the proposal would increase that to $250 in addition to the possibility of jail time. Council members say they would hope the stiffer penalty would make repeat offenders think about getting a handle on their barking dogs, but add that they are in no hurry and want to have a larger conversation before making a final decision.
So, consider the last two clips I just played. Videos like those were popping up on YouTube anywhere between 7 and 14 years ago. It seems no one today even gives a damn. A couple of years ago, it was fairly easy to find videos with search terms like anti-barking. But, if you really want to be depressed, check out these search results, which I got from typing in anti-dog video. I'm not kidding. Look at the horseshit that pops up. If you're listening to this video as though it were an audio podcast for some reason, and I get it, on this one that can kind of work, stop. And look at this screen. Look at this crap.
As one Redditor said very well,
barking is not a peaceful sound. It is absolutely awful to listen to. And it is harassment.
I know we all hate barking, and it's time to go off. It's been a while since I've done a video exclusively on barking, easily among the worst of social banes there is. I was recently walking through a parking lot area when I first heard the unmistakable sound of multiple dogs barking. At first I just heard one. As I got closer to the source, I saw exactly where it was coming from. Some entitled and inconsiderate nutter had simply left 2 or 3 of these bark bags, windows down, in his or her vehicle while they went into a store. These things were menacing everything and everyone that went by, and they would not shut the fuck up.
As we know all too well, dogs engage in a great number of undesirable behaviors. This can be evidenced by training, which is a basic requirement to get a dog to become more tolerable than it would be in its natural state. When dog owners transform their beasts into something else entirely, this is a tacit admission that they hate what dogs are like in their default mode. Just something to think about if you believe dogs to be a good fit for human society or for families. From their odor and intrusiveness to their mindless aggression and hyperactivity, dogs possess many negative qualities that easily make them a source of aggravation for humans. That is, in addition to making them a public health and safety hazard, a liability, and an environmental, as well as social, pollutant. Dogs cause a whole host of social problems, ranging from public defecation to unwanted noise pollution of the kind that carries for
quite a distance, namely barking. In general, dogs simply cause too many problems in society for their widespread ownership to be justified any longer. There are many single issues caused by dogs which, even if dogs didn't cause all the other problems they create, would be enough reason to oppose dog ownership. But back to barking. If dogs did nothing else undesirable, the fact that they bark the way they do would be reason enough to strictly prohibit their sale, ownership, and possession in cities and towns. But even people in rural areas, or who own land and have few neighbors around them, cannot escape this scourge. Barking is terrible because it is a completely needless and pointless sound, and despite being so obnoxious and disruptive, it is widely accepted as normal, even deemed acceptable and defended aggressively by inconsiderate and deeply troubled dog-enabling lunatics. One thing I have always hated about dogs is the way they randomly harass and threaten with their barking. For whatever reason, many dogs that pay you no mind when they're being walked on a leash outside will bark incessantly while moving rapidly and aggressively towards you when they are behind a fence or gate. Dogs will also rage at us like this from behind screens, closed doors, patio and porch balconies, and even from moving cars and trucks from behind windows. It is a very uninviting, off-putting, and abrasive behavior. Seriously? What an awful quality for a living creature to possess and embody. In the entire animal kingdom, literally no other animal of any kind does anything like this. Wolves and coyotes are actually capable of barking, but they seldom do. They certainly don't bark their heads off 24/7 the way dogs do. and the detrimental impacts of barking cannot be overstated.
They are often downplayed and defended by dog enablers. But in the real world, people have been barked out of homes and have had their lives ruined by barking.
I myself have been unable to live in certain areas simply because of the barking problem there. The craziest thing about dog barking in general, perhaps, is the way most people simply tolerate it or ignore it, even if they actually find it intolerable.
Barking is not a form of communication. For some much-needed contrast, how do we, humans, and other animals actually communicate?
When we communicate, we do so through the use of ever-changing words and expressions. We have countless languages and dialects, and even our gestures, facial expressions, body language, and vocal nuances like tone and rhythm can carry subtle meanings critical to effective communication. Human language is constantly evolving, but what do dogs do? Birds use call notes that range from chirps to squawks and other sounds. Songbirds will change the tempo, pitch, and tone to produce sounds that are reminiscent of human melodies. And what do dogs do? Whales use a variety of sounds to communicate with one another, and these may include clicks, whistles, and pulsed calls. There is actually something there, and they do not make one specific kind of sound in response to everything, like dogs do.
Dog barking serves no useful function.
It seems these demented dog defenders still don't quite understand the problem we have with dog barking. They fail to understand that this is not a passive activity. It is not harmless. Local laws and ordinances don't fully acknowledge its detrimental nature. So, for example, you might find stuff like this.
Dogs can bark legally during the day in a way that is not incessant or disturbing toward other people in the area.
The problem is that the definition of incessant isn't well defined. And seriously, when is barking not disturbing toward other people in the area? One source states that
excessive barking can be described as constant barking for long periods of time, both day and night, for no apparent reason.
But how are they defining a long period of time? Because the thing of it is that any and all barking is too much. A dog barking for just 30 seconds is a long period of time, considering how disruptive and grating it is. And considering that dogs really will bark at nothing at all, there is no good reason for it. For that matter, a single bark or a few barks in a row are enough to instantly wreck the peace in an otherwise quiet and tranquil area. Dog barking is very out of place in modern cities and human settlements in general. The people making excuses for this behavior will continually ignore the following contention. When a dog outside sees us walking by, it will come running towards the fence, and it will jump or lunge towards us whilst barking. Many dogs likewise have this reaction when they are being walked by their owners and thus restrained. And I don't want to hear some bullshit excuse about barrier frustration. The behavior exhibited by the dogs is unacceptable and serves no useful function or purpose. And you are the one who chose to own this deranged so-called animal, not us. So why should we be expected to suffer their unwanted sonic assaults and general incursions? 5. Dogs mindlessly chase cyclists, joggers, even stationary pedestrians who are moving away from them, or who are nowhere near them. So in other words, dogs will apparently go out of their way to engage someone not interacting with them in any way. A dog attack victim is often a person who not only wasn't interacting with the dog in any way, but who was probably not even aware of the dog's presence until the beast is dangerously close, having come from out of nowhere. This is a very unpleasant experience. In general, even when passing by a dog in a backyard with a fence around it, a dog will mindlessly bark for a long time, even though we're moving past it or away from where it is, either to the left or to the right. In any case, we are moving away from the dumb thing. There is no excuse. There are countless conditions under which dogs exhibit this mindless aggression. If dogs can't help themselves and don't know any better than their owners who should know better, should simply not have them, knowing full well that this is how dogs conduct themselves.